Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, it's first week. A lot of festivities in the first week. We met Susie on Monday. By the way, she'll be in the office tomorrow afternoon at 2 for those of you who want to be a part of her free seminar. But first, Wednesdays are extra special around here too, because you know who will be coming aboard today. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones is going to be our guest today talking about Sleepless in America. That's not Seattle, that's America. And how sleep matters. Dr. Baba Babu Marcel will be our guest today. And so in the course of our discussion concerning the sleep matters, the sleep issues, if you want to call in to ask a question of Susan, the number to do that is to dial us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, our guest today. Now, as you should know by now, we're smack dab, and we're just at the kickoff of Top Doc Summer. You know this all got really launched a couple weeks ago with the Top 20 Alternative Doctors in America meeting up in Phoenix, Arizona to launch a book. By the way, more details on the book. I finally got an email back, and I'll be getting copies of the book in here. Right now, there's only 2 copies in the entire city. I've got one, and Lollipop's got the other. So, but I'll give you an opportunity to get a copy of it also. We're taking steps to get that in there. Anyway, each of us who had a chapter in this book presented our chapter out there in Phoenix, Arizona, and then as literally they were coming off the stage, I was waiting for them so that I could invite them on the radio show. Now, I've never been turned down by any of them. They were so nice and cordial, and we kicked this off this week. By the way, on Monday, we kick it off with Dr. Robinson. I don't want to downplay Friday, however. Friday's a big day. I told you yesterday that I was going to be recording a show with Dr. Chris Melitis. The show is on nitric oxide. The show went very well yesterday afternoon. We finished it up around 5:30 in the afternoon. But we're going to play the show on Friday morning. You Viagra aficionados, Cialis devotees, you don't want to miss this show. Neo 40 gets launched. Nitric oxide is within your control with a new supplement, and you can test for nitric oxide levels, all explained on our Friday show with Dr. Chris Melitis. So you don't want to miss it. I'll be here live just to launch the show on Friday, and then Bill's going to take over and spin it for you. I hope you enjoy the show. We certainly enjoyed putting it together. Now, next Monday, we launched the Top Doc Summer because Dr. Carl Robinson is going to be our first guest, one of the top docs, of course. He's going to be talking about aluminum toxicity. That was his chapter. He blew the roof off the place talking about aluminum, many things I'd never heard of before. Dr. Mike Margolis follows up on Wednesday. He's one of the top docs, a dentist practicing in the Phoenix area. Going to be talking about mercury toxicity. Then, we're trying to do these, by the way, on Mondays and Wednesdays to leave Fridays open. But hey, next Friday, it's not open. Dr. Jimmy Barber, a local plastic surgeon, is involved with cancer pre-screening testing. And so we're going to be launching that program that you can be able to be a part of if you have concerns about predispositions of cancer and you're running in your family and whether or not you carry the potential of expressing that form of cancer, there's a new test out. You want to be a part of it. And in the majority of cases, it is actually covered by insurances. So we'll do that with Jimmy Barber on the 13th. Then back on the 16th, Dr. Mark Starr, and what a star he is, we're going to be talking about, I'm looking at the book. He wrote a book, Heart Attacks, Heart Failure and Diabetes, Prevention and Treatment, Utilizing Thyroid Hormone. Unbelievable. He came across the work of Dr. Berta Barnes, and there it was. It's all in there, and he'll present that to you on the 16th. Dr. Lee Cowden will be a guest on the 18th, talking about cancer treatments. Not too bizarre, but definitely a skew of his board-certified specialty of cardiology. I just love to see it when cardiologists venture outside of the comfort of the hallowed halls of cardiology, and this gentleman, he really ventures. On the 23rd, a Monday, Dr. Bruce Shelton, a medical doctor, homeopathic doctor, talking to us, and will be talking to us about homeopathy. Sort of a primer. If you don't know much about homeopathy, you know what the word is, but you want to learn more about it, Dr. Bruce Shelton is the guy, and he works with a company called DesBio and has put together a number of series remedies. We're going to be talking about those series remedies, many afflictions that you have called up and asked about. Jesus, there's anything I can do. I know one big one is radiation. I mean, I'm going to have radiation. I'm going to have a CT scan. I'm going to have this, or I'm going to have that. We'll be talking to Dr. Bruce Shelton about these various remedies on the 23rd. Then we'll end up this month with Dr. David Steenbach, the maverick of all mavericks. He's out in the West Coast, and he has been involved in so many arenas of alternative medicine, but now he's very much involved in stem cells, and we'll have that discussion with him on the 25th, and that'll round out the month. What an action-packed month it is. It'll set the stage for the month of July, by the way, and right now, and I will have many more of the top docs scheduled by then, but the only doc I have scheduled for the month of July is Dr. Nicholas Meyer, a top doc dentist, talking about biological dentistry at that point. If that wasn't enough, we have the eye programs this month going to be on 17, 18, and 19. If you're afflicted with either glaucoma or MACD, that's not McDonald's, that's macular degeneration, wet or dry, or diabetic retinopathy, or cataracts, and you want to be seeing better in 3 days, you know the plan. Give us a call here at 724-942-3002 so that we can get you started within the 3-day treatment program offered on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Got just about enough time to get all the records off to Dr. Kondrat, our board-certified ophthalmologist who really put this program together. And we'll let that go with that. What else? The Ozone Express is running and moving awfully fast. It's got freight train punch and wallop behind it, and we just have so many patients benefiting from it. If you think you'd like to be involved with ozone therapy, give us a call in the office at 724-942-3002. And, of course, you thought I forgot, didn't you? What do I usually tell you? And we'll end the opening with it today. Normally I start the opening with it. It is this one. Hey, have you thrown away your calcium supplements today? And by the way, pour that glass of milk right down the sink. If that sounds strange to you, you haven't been listening. If you know what I'm talking about, then make sure you do toss them, because it's in your best medical interest to do so. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we return, she will be with us. Sleepless in America, how sleep matters and what to do about it. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, our expert guest today. It's First Wednesday, folks. What else are we going to do? Be right back with Susan.
No wonder.
Okay, you can doctor off here.
Okay.
Suggestion.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, so are you ever getting your phones fixed?
Well, the phones are fixed. Okay, so that issue isn't really the issue anymore. It's just that the control room likes to have the ability to plug us in because they control the sound level of both of us, as opposed to whenever we're doing it by ourselves.
I like to be plugged in.
You are plugged in. You are wired. You're ready to roll. I guess you're going to be leaving us and going away next month, huh?
Yeah, I have some work to do in Amsterdam and a few places in England.
Well,
honestly, I know you love to fly to Mexico. If I never had to fly again, I'd be happy.
Well, you take such long jumps. Mexico's a quickie compared to what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's quicker for me than you to go to Mexico.
Well, yeah, and of course I go to Cancun, which is probably about the same time for both of us.
Yeah,
but you hit the West Coast areas.
Yes.
And we're going to meet Mexico sometime. This would be a perfect.
Get a pen and paper out, because you said many people don't have a computer.
Yes, true.
I'm going to tell you about a new Nutrex, that green complete powder.
Oh, yeah.
They had anything new last time, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it.
All right.
I've done a clinical study on it, and I'll ask me about if there's a mattress I like, and we'll talk all about sleep.
Okay, dear.
You.
All right, we're getting ready. Get ready to go.
Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to An Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you this morning on this first Wednesday of the month, special around here, as you well know by now, because we get an extra special guest, an expert in the health field. She taught at UCLA for the past 30 years. She's founder and president of Health Unlimited, which is a Los Angeles-based consulting firm dedicated to optimal wellness. She travels internationally all over the place. She's always on TV and radio talk shows. She's the author of over 25 books, and she's a breath of fresh air each and every month around here. Today we're going to be talking about sleep and how to best get some of that stuff to the person who's really studied it. And with me, the issue of Sleepless in America will be covered by our guest today, Dr. Susan Smith-Jones. Good morning, Susan, and welcome back.
Well, thank you, Dr. Dennis, and good morning. This is one of my favorite topics in the world because chronic lack of sleep affects every aspect of your life. So we'll have a great time, and you said we can go 3 hours today, right?
Well, when we end an hour, we'll just let Bill just keep on taping us. How's that?
Right.
Bill's going crazy right now. Is he really going to do that? No. Okay, Bill. No, it's a joke.
We like to make them sweat.
We make him sweat. Well, it's first Wednesday, and normally we usually have your newsletter issues. Anything on the newsletter you want to be talking to me about?
So, you know what? For those of you that have a computer, now if you don't, if you're just not into going online, you'll want to get out a pen and a paper because I'll have some information and telephone numbers to give you to get some gifts. But in my new newsletter, if you go to, I'll just tell you quickly because you like to go here with me, SusanSmithJones.com.
I'm already there.
All right, right on the home page it says May, June newsletter.
Got it.
Now, if you click there, and the first box is always the intro. So go to the first box and scroll down past it, and then, so the first box after the intro, you'll see it's about a new Vitamix that nobody knows about yet. It just came out, and it's smaller. It's great for travel. It's great for small jobs in the kitchen. But in that second box, there's a recipe if you scroll down, and it's the recipe's called Green Smoothie Revitalization. And I'll tell you quickly, because everyone will want this. I did this recipe. I did a 30-day clinical study. I mean, it's not a big, massive scientific study, but I did it with 50 people. 2 were teenagers. The rest were adults. And so I wanted to look at a few things, and what we found is that after 30 days with 50 people, 90% of the people in the study or higher lost 1 to 3 pounds weekly and slept better by only adding this recipe into their diet every day. It's a simple recipe. And the second box is after the intro, so you could call it the third box. It's best mattress to sleep like a baby and tips to get restful sleep at any age. So look at those first 3 sections of the newsletter, and then, Dr. Dennis, go with me up to blog. You see the button
at the top.
Left?
Okay, I'm going all the way up. I'm there.
On that.
Okay.
Now, the first blog I posted this morning for your listeners is Catch Plenty of Z's. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and then the second blog, again, is about Vitamix, and I've got 3 recipes in that second blog. If you have allergies, I've got a recipe for seasonal allergy relief. It's my elixir smoothie. I've got another recipe on dried plum and green apple that will guarantee to help you lose weight. And then I've got a supercharged berry recipe. That's all in the second blog. So we're just directing people where to go on the website.
All right. Well, I've scanned them, and they're all there. And folks, get to your computer, SusanSmithJones.com. Click on that opening thing that the May and June newsletter is on. And as Susan has just mentioned, you'll be exploring just a wonderful world of health-related items. And is that thing that the green smoothie, is that based on that stuff that you learned out in Hawaii when you went there?
Well, you know what, you asked me last month if there was anything new going on there, and I said not really, but I wasn't allowed to talk about it.
Oh, you lied. Did you lie?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. but it's for the last 2 years they've been working on this wonderful green powder, and there are lots of these green powders in the health food store, and you'll often look at the label and you see maybe 50 or 60 ingredients, but they put such a little amount of each thing that it doesn't make much sense to take it. And that's one of the things with this green smoothie revitalization recipe that I just directed you to. It's got their new product that's called Green Complete. And this product it's the only product in the world that has a full serving of that Hawaiian spirulina, 3,000 milligrams. So we've talked about that before, but it also has the most important extra ingredients. And there aren't loads of them, but there's a larger amount. There's green barley grass, broccoli, kale, wheatgrass, some seaweed, some dulse. There's acai, goji berry. There's probiotics. This is all good stuff. And vanilla bean, natural, and it's all organic. And a scoop of that is in the green smoothie revitalization that I used in my clinical study. So people did nothing different, the 50 people, than add this recipe into their diet that includes a scoop of this Green Complete powder, and 90% or higher slept better, lost 1 to 3 pounds every week. And the company told me they have this beautiful new full color. I'm about to give you a telephone number. A full color recipe book called Superfood Spirulina. Now, I didn't write it. There's a famous chef, Julie Morris. I met her there last month. She wrote this book. And so it has smoothies, snacks, side dishes, breakfast, brunch, and every recipe has Hawaiian spirulina in it. And she did a demonstration, and we got to taste everything. It was incredible. So I mentioned this because the company said, Susan, you can select one radio show, one show you do. And so I said I wanted to select your show, and they said anybody who buys that Green Complete, the new powder that's just come out on the market, if they ask for it, they can get this full color recipe book free And
Ah.
so the telephone number, and remember, they're 6 hours earlier than you because it's Hawaiian time. They're 3 hours earlier than me here in Santa Monica. But their toll-free number is 800-453-1187. So you get 25% off the green complete powder when you use the code.
What's the code?
What's the code?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm drawing a blank. I'll tell you in a
All right. When you find, I won't let you go without letting us know what the code is. So.
It's Revitalize.
Revitalize. Okay.
I think I need more sleep. And then you can say, I heard Susan with Dr. Dennis, and she said that if I got this green complete powder, and so try it for 1 month. I get 25% off with this code, Revitalize. And she said you would also include that free recipe book. It's called Superfood Spirulina. It's a great book, and I've tried every recipe in the book, and they all take less than 10 minutes to make, and they're all delicious.
Well, that's what going out to Hawaii did, huh? And they launched the product, and now I got to get some of that stuff in the office here.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I'll tell you that it's so good that I sometimes take half a scoop and I put it on yogurt. So you might not want to put it in a smoothie, but it's easy that way.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on yogurt, and then I put a little sprinkling of granola on the top, and it's delicious.
Well, does that, you said it has just a tad of vanilla in it?
Vanilla bean, yeah.
Vanilla bean.
By the way, vanilla bean has been purported to be a little bit of an aphrodisiac.
Oh, there you go again with that talk. All right. Very good. Very good, Susan.
Oh, but I say vanilla bean because it's one of the few green powders that has a nice taste to it. Most of them smell like grass and
I was going to say
grass in your yard.
Okay, well, thanks for bringing that to us. Finally, that you had the wraps off and you don't have to lie anymore. What you did out there.
I'm sorry.
All right, so you fessed up, and I forgive you, and we all forgive you. And that number that our listeners can use is 800-453-1187. The code word is Revitalize. Get a month's supply and ask for the recipe book.
Great, but it is worth it to get it just for this beautiful full-color cookbook that you'll use every single day in your kitchen.
Okay.
I don't think you'd use it in the bedroom, but for sure you'd use it in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, all right.
Yeah. But so definitely check out the first 3 boxes of the newsletter that you find on the homepage, and check out the first 2 blogs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I promise nothing you read will put you to sleep.
No, it will not.
No.
Can we get to the... speaking of sleep...
Let's talk about sleep.
Yeah, let's talk about sleep. Well, by the way, why'd you pick the topic? Because you sort of select what you want to do around here, and I never raise a fuss. But it seems like I've had some difficulty on a rare occasion. This makes my next day so bad. If I have trouble getting to sleep, it doesn't happen often, but I talk to a number of my patients who've got the problem.
And this time we have together, I'll talk all about sleep, how much you need, what lack of it does to your body, how to get better sleep, my favorite mattress. But sleep is vitally important. It's when we reset our appetite control and pain control. Sleep is when our energy regroups for the day. And the latest studies, and we hear about this all the time on the national news, say that over 70 million prescriptions are written every year for sleeping pills, and that over 50% of the population in America, so we're looking at over 160 million people, don't get enough sleep. And, I don't mean on occasion. I don't mean once every couple weeks you don't get sleep because you had to finish a project or whatever. But I mean chronic sleep. It affects everything in your body. It affects your hormones that regulate your satiety, so it makes you eat more, and it makes you eat more of foods that aren't good for you, which is not not good for your body. Lack of sleep affects your hormones. It causes a toxic buildup. We've had 2 shows recently, you and I have on how to detoxify your body. It accelerates aging. It causes depression and irritability and impatience. It causes a low sex drive, memory loss, lethargy, not to mention major relationship problems, accidents. They say, you know, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that 1,500 reported drowsy driving fatalities happen every year. And studies also reveal that driving on only 6 hours of sleep, now that's probably what most people get that are listening right now. But if you drive on only 6 hours of sleep, it's like driving drunk in terms of your reaction time. In a moment, I'll talk about absolutely what happens with the stress levels, how you age quicker, how it affects weight loss or weight gain in your body. But it's got to be non-negotiable in your life. There's nothing, Dennis, nothing more restorative for your body than getting good sleep night after night after night. As a teenager, my grandmother taught me this. I'll admit, you know, now I can be honest with you from now on, but I don't always get great sleep. It might be that I'm on deadline with an article, and like you and like everybody, it affects my next day. At the very least, because I'm usually positive and energetic, it affects my mood, and I get a little cranky. And if anybody listening wants to lose weight, keep this in mind. Too little sleep. And next I'll tell you how much sleep you need.
Yeah, I want to know that.
Yeah. Too little sleep makes you hungry the next day, especially for foods that are not good for you, and primes your body to hold on to all of the calories you eat. And it has to do with your hormones, ghrelin and leptin. And it's interesting. See, there was a study done, and I've mentioned this to you before, 2 years ago at Columbia University in New York City. And it found that people who slept 6 hours a night were 23% more likely to be obese than people who slept between 7 and 9 hours. If you slept 5 hours a night, you were 50% more likely to be obese. And if you slept 4 hours or less, you were 73% more likely. So if you want to lose a few pounds or many pounds, make getting enough sleep every night non-negotiable in your healthy lifestyle.
That is interesting, that time between obesity and lack of sleep. Is that because of cortisol? Because of stresses that you're putting on the body? Trying to make some hormonal explanation work for why it is that you're...
Yes, well, okay, all right. Then before we get to how much sleep you need, since you just brought this up, let me tell you what happens in your body with your stress levels when you don't get enough sleep.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, there was a study done by Corrine Spiegel at the University of Chicago, and she asked participants, we wouldn't want to do this study, she asked participants to stay in bed just 4 hours a night for 6 hours, and then 12 hours per night for the next 7 nights. What she found is when you're sleep deprived, your blood sugar, your cortisol, and your sympathetic nervous system activity rose. And then am I saying this the right way? The thyrotropin, which regulates thyroid function, that fell. So in other words, the results of the study show that chronic sleep deprivation forces your body into that fight or flight response, pushing blood sugars and other hormone-related functions out of kilter. Now, when you have those higher cortisol levels, among other things that it does to your body, it leads to memory loss, an increase in fat storage, and a decrease in muscle. And from the weight loss shows we've done together, you know that that's the perfect combination if you want to lower your metabolism and gain weight easily. But if you want to increase your muscle mass, and that means you have a quicker metabolism, which is necessary to have a fit, lean body, you need to get, according to all these studies, at least 8 hours of sound sleep nightly to encourage muscle maintenance and growth and the release of the hormone called the human growth hormone, which helps keep us youthful and strong. So put another way, very simply, sleeping can make you slimmer. However, there's a break-off time. You don't want to sleep over 9 hours because then that begins to do the opposite, to slow down the metabolism. But the ideal sleep you need to get is about 8 hours of sleep. And now I'll say specifically, adults need ideally 8.25 hours of sleep at night to maximize their ability to function daily. I would say, since some listening are thinking, what is this lady saying? I can't get that much. But strive for between 7 and 8.25 hours. Adolescents need 9.25. Rarely do they get it. Preschoolers need 12 hours. Toddlers need 13. Babies need, all the babies listening, need 14 to 18 hours. That's you, Bill. 14 to 18 hours of sleep every day.
18 hours. Well, many a new parent wish their child would sleep for 18 hours.
Oh.
Are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, absolutely. Well, the thing with the adults and 8.25, that's pretty specific. Where do you come up with that quarter? I'm just interested.
It's from the National Sleep Foundation. They gather all the studies done all around the world, and that's what they come up with.
Well, then, if they said it...
Say
8. 8.25. I'm sticking with 8.25.
8 hours. If you want to push your snooze button a few times to get 8.25, you could do that.
Now, what if, because I find that I may even attempt to get somewhere near the 8, but there are those times when I just can't get to sleep. And do you have any assistance for those rare times that I have the problem? But I'm going to guess my listeners, I have this keep coming up in a consultation with many patients who say, I can't sleep. I'm having difficulty getting to sleep. And that just perpetuates the whole doggone thing, because if you believe you can't get to sleep, you aren't going to get to sleep.
There's so many things I recommend, and we'll just be able to scratch the surface together on the show today. Let me just say that in the first blog and under more articles, there's Insomnia Begun. But I'd say the first place to start is your mattress. How good is your mattress? How old is your mattress? There's this is no clinical study I'm about to tell you, but it's just the feedback from maybe 90 to 100 of my clients and patients that have come to see me over the last few years. And you see, we've never talked about mattresses. And there's one that I highly recommend. And in the first blog, I write all about it. It's called the IntelliBed. And so maybe it's time I write in that blog to give the mattress you're sleeping on an IQ test, because, is it safe? Even the most expensive mattresses use synthetic foams that may be toxic. Will it last? Most mattresses lose their shape and form in just a few years. Does it have a special non-toxic gel? And there's one that you can't buy in a store. It's called the IntelliBed. Again, I write about it in the first blog. But the world's leading expert in sleep at Stanford University, his name is a medical doctor. You'd like this guy. His name is Robert Troll, Troell. And one of the things he said is this, quote, I have a lot of patients who have problems with insomnia or chronic pain, And he says that the Tempur-Pedic or the sleep number aren't the answer, as they don't support muscular skeletal systems adequately. The IntelliBed does, and it's why I recommend it to all of my patients. And, you know, what I say to people is that you often go into these stores, you spend 10 minutes, they have all these beds you can lie down on, right? You can for a few minutes. But it's hard to decide in a few minutes if the mattress is right for you, something you spend a third of your life on. And so I have close to 100 people that have come to my private practice that have all gotten this IntelliBed, and nobody has sent it back. It is the most comfortable sleep, scientifically designed, guaranteed to give you the best sleep. And what this company does, because they're so sure of it, first of all, you have a 30-year warranty, but they let you purchase it, and and they say to give out the code Sweet Dreams 2014, you get 10% off. I'll give you their telephone number in a moment, but they'll let you keep it risk-free for 60 days, 2 months. You try it out, and if it is not the best sleep that you've ever gotten in your life, they'll take it back. They don't ask questions. Of the almost 100 people that have seen me, nobody has sent it back. Everyone tells me that they don't know how they've lived without it. And they'll even let you send it back, and they'll pay for shipping, so you have absolutely no risk at all.
No risk.
Yeah, no risk. It's absolutely risk-free, and they'll give you 10% off with the code Sweet Dreams 2014. But here's their number for those of you that can't go look at my first blog or my June newsletter, and I write all about it. I show pictures of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, their toll-free number, and by the way, they're in Utah, so this is Mountain Time, which is, 2 hours before you.
Yes.
And it's 888-435-2339. 888-435-2339. So, and not only do they have all different sizes, but they even have them for children. It's an organic covering. They even have studies on their website. You can go to intellibed.com, INTELLIBED, and they've had studies on how it helps autistic children. And you know, you'll see the quotes from this Stanford medical doctor. And I know it might sound a little scary to order a mattress online, but I would never have done it 2 years ago if it wasn't risk-free, and I knew I could send it back if I didn't like it. But now I have this mattress in every room in my home, and people are always asking me on radio and TV, what mattress do I sleep on? What do I recommend to get the best, deep, restful, sound sleep? And it's the IntelliBed mattress. It's phenomenal.
I'm intrigued by it. This thing about the gel, I think it's a new concept. I've never heard of it before. We've all heard about the Tempur-Pedic and the memory foam, but I've never seen this thing with the gel. It's intriguing enough.
This company's way before their time, and you know, down the road, all these other famous mattress companies that sell them in stores will have something similar. But nobody has what they have right now, and you know, the fact that you can try it risk-free for 60 days, because you can't tell by going into a store for 10 minutes to go from bed to bed and try them out.
Well, there's the good
I know a couple guys that have asked women friends to go with them to stores to try out beds with them so that they could try a bed together.
Interesting.
Funny what men will do to get on their...
Don't go there. You don't have to go there. It's all right. Oh, you West Coast girls.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so I asked you how you best...
What happens when you don't get a good night's sleep? Now, you know, napping is not a bad thing. First of all, let me say this to you. when it comes to sleep, I said most people require about 8 hours. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I don't need that much. I function fine on 5 or 6. But I think you don't really know how much better you can function during the day because you're so used to getting minimal sleep. But every hour you lose adds to your sleep indebtedness, and you can't expect to catch up by sleeping maybe late one Saturday or Sunday morning, because the lost sleep accumulates progressively and contributes to long-term health problems that I mentioned. And especially, this happens with adults, yes, but especially with children and teens, because they need more sleep than adults, as I mentioned, because sleep loss affects how they learn. It increases their chances of accidents and depression and violent and aggressive behavior. And, you know, many of us are beginning to realize we need more sleep, and there are a few enlightened businesses that are adopting you've heard about it, Google and other companies, the pioneering view that napping can promote productivity. So some companies even offer nap rooms for employees. You should do that in your office. Because naps are recognized as a powerful tool for battling fatigue. However, if you have chronic insomnia, naps can actually aggravate your night's sleep. And so it's better actually not to nap and just to try to get a good night's sleep. And here's another important topic about when to cut off eating before you go to bed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and naps. See, naps are never recommended right after meals. I know it's natural to want to nap after eating because, are you aware of this, Dennis? The distension of the stomach from a meal increases the deep sleep drive. But the problem is that if you've overeaten, the digestive process interferes with the quality of your sleep. And conversely, sleep interferes with the digestive process. So you're better off to allow digestion to occur before sleeping, as both digestion and sleep will work better when performed separately. You know, so the scientists say you want about 3 hours from your last meal, let's say dinner time, before you go to sleep. Now, if you had only the lightest of dinners and you're really hungry an hour before you sleep, then it's okay to have something that digests quickly, like a piece of fruit or, you know, chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is great. So is lemon balm to help relax you, to take off that edge and calm you down and help you sleep. Exercise is great to help you sleep. Now, I don't recommend it the hour before you go to bed because it revs up your metabolism. It will definitely accelerate your body's metabolic rate, which will remain revved up for a few hours. But exercise at some point during the day, like morning or lunchtime exercise, especially if you've got insomnia, at least 4 hours before bedtime, will help you sleep much better.
Perfect. Okay, let me ask you this. Did your grandmother ever tell you what maybe little elixir? I mean, I don't like to use drugs at all, and patients are so desperate. What can you eat or drink or take that might very well be a predecessor to a good night's sleep?
Let me go into this specifically. First of all, that recipe that's in the newsletter, that's right there in the box after the intro, the first box on the Vitamix, and over in my blog, the second blog on the new Vitamix, that green smoothie revitalization recipe. And I know and you don't drink it right before you go to bed, but when you have it during the day, it gives you the minerals you need that will help you sleep better later at night. Everybody in the study, everybody, let me say 92% lost between 1 and 3 pounds weekly by just adding that smoothie that has the green complete in it. 99%, everyone except 2 people said they slept better at night. Now, chamomile tea, like I said, is great. There's some, if you need to eat too before you go to bed, let me quickly go through a few foods that aren't bad to have a little bit before bedtime. Cherries. See, fresh and dried cherries are one of only a few foods that are a natural source of melatonin, and that's the chemical that controls the body's internal clock to help regulate sleep. So about an hour before bedtime, if you have some tart cherries, that will help with the melatonin. And also, they actually help, you know, when you have jet lag after a flight, dried cherry, and that's why I always take cherries with me on the flight. They always help. Bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, just like the green complete powder. And potassium and magnesium are natural muscle relaxants, and the bananas are a good source of both potassium and magnesium. And what happens is they can also contain the amino acid, you've heard of this, L-tryptophan, which gets converted to 5-HTP in the brain, and then the 5-HTP is in turn converted to serotonin, a relaxing neurotransmitter, and melatonin. Now, oatmeal, like toast, a bowl of oatmeal triggers a rise in the blood sugar, which then triggers an insulin production and the release of sleep-inducing brain chemicals. And oats are also one of the other foods that's rich in melatonin. So often you think of it as a breakfast meal, but, you know, if 90 minutes before you go to bed, you were really hungry, you wanted something to eat, oatmeal is not a bad thing.
Okay, great suggestions. What other element, time's moving on, and
Yes, all right, let me give you some other tips on how to really make your bedroom a sanctuary. I had a client once who, and I had her do everything I recommended. She got the good bed, she got the IntelliBed. I had her wear natural fiber pajamas and bed linens because that helps you sleep better. I had her put some green plants that give off oxygen. I had her put 3 to 4 drops of the essential oil of lavender on her pillowcase every night. I told her to always have fresh air coming in, even if it was in the winter. And nothing worked. And she lived locally. She's actually a famous actress. You would absolutely know her. She's won 2 Academy Awards. But anyway, so I went to her home, and she never told me that the walls of her bedroom were a bright red. And a red color is very energizing to the body. So we painted her bedroom a really pale blue, like blue, soft green, lavender, or just a soft color, but not red or orange or bright yellow. Those colors will energize you. And once we changed her wall color, she started to sleep better. Now, if you heat up your body, whether you take a nice, like, jacuzzi bath or a jacuzzi or a sauna, or a long shower, but especially because you got to heat up the core of your body about 90 minutes to 2 hours before sleep. The process of your body, the internal temperature cooling down because it's been heated up, actually secretes more melatonin, and you will literally sleep like a baby. This is why it's always good to give babies baths at night before they go to sleep.
good. The hot tub, a jacuzzi, great idea.
Yes, I mean, if you have a jacuzzi, you know I'm totally into infrared saunas. If you had, and I write about that in the first blog right here, Catch Plenty of Z's. And when you scroll down to read more, I talk about the right water and heat therapy. And there's no doubt about it. If you had your own personal sauna, which is great for losing weight, aches and pains, cellulite, to make your skin glow, to detoxify your body when you profusely sweat. But if you can do that 2 hours before bedtime, but you don't want to do it by exercise. Remember, that will rev up your metabolism. When in my personal sauna, my infrared sauna, I just lie down. Sometimes I go to sleep in the sauna. But that heating up of your body, and then either 90 minutes to 2 hours before bedtime, it cools down. That will be some of the best sleep you've ever gotten. Oh, especially if you combine it with the IntelliBed mattress.
Yeah, I'm gonna explore that issue with the Telebed.
Yeah.
Seems like
I mean, say you want to try it out for 2 months. I mean, that's phenomenal. Remember, you'll get 10% off with the code Sweet Dreams 2014. I don't recommend sleeping pills. You know, I always recommend before you go to bed, fill your mind with positive, beautiful things like, read my book, The Joy Factor, and Walking on Air. I don't recommend that you watch the nightly news before you go to sleep, even if you think I'm a very highly involved person and I won't let what I see on the news affect me. It's hard not to be affected by what goes on in the news these days. And so you want to carry with you as you go into sleep peaceful, relaxing thoughts. Remember, when you sleep at night, you go from beta, which is waking consciousness in terms of brainwave activity. The next slower level is alpha, then theta, and then delta. And during the night, you need 5 cycles of delta, the REM, the deep sleep, a night. And these cycles are 90 minutes each for you to be optimally healthy, vibrant, so your body can heal itself. You need 5 cycles of delta sleep. And if these cycles, Dennis, are 90 minutes each, let's count this out.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's 3, that's 6, that's 7.5 hours.
Thank you. And very good. You are smart. I always knew that, but you just proved it. So when you go to sleep, remember, you don't always go like a escalator right down into delta. You wake up, your partner snores, a siren goes by outside, you wake up and you go to sleep again. So in order to get those 5 cycles, 7.5 hours of sleep in that deep REM level, you've got to sleep more than 7.5 hours because you got to account for the time it takes you to go to sleep, and
Sure.
You might get up to go to the bathroom. Another reason you need enough sleep. By the way, when you get up to use the bathroom at night, don't flip on the light full blast because that shuts off your melatonin secretion and it makes it difficult to go to sleep. If you need a little light, have one of those faint night lights guide you to the bathroom so you don't stub your toes, and then use the bathroom and then go back to bed. But don't put a bright light on. And as you fade off to sleep, let's say you like to sleep with, I know people that sleep with a remote in their hand for the TV. As you go from beta to alpha to theta, you are impressing the subconscious part of your brain with whatever is on TV. And you don't want to do that. It's really important to relax your mind and body and turn off the tech stuff. Take the high-tech stuff out of your bedroom. Don't bring the cell phone into your bedroom. And remember, I told you this study done, I'll hurry, at the University of Zurich in Switzerland said that using a cell phone before bedtime interferes with your brain wave activity. And so if you have to use a phone at night before bedtime, you've got to use a landline. And I know many people, and by the way, they don't know if it's the same if you use a headset. They're doing another study on that now. But I know many people that don't even have landlines anymore.
So do I.
Yeah, probably you. No, and don't use, don't answer all your email, because it's the light that comes off of your computer that affects your brain's ability to get sound sleep as well. I mean, there's so much more I could talk about.
Yeah, you just keep coming up.
You'll find all of this in the first couple blogs, and in my newsletter, and in my latest book, Walking on Air, your 30-day inside and out rejuvenation makeover.
Well, I love where you took us today. I think it was a discussion we've never had. We never really talked about sleep all this time that we've been doing our shows together.
No, and let me give you two quick quotes. One is your buddy, Leonardo da Vinci, and not DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci. And he said, "A well-spent day brings happy sleep." I like that one. And there's an old Irish saying, I heard this 2 months ago when I did some work in Ireland. It's a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book.
Well, that's a great way to leave us, Susan.
All right.
Let's say that I know that you're going to be taking a little time off. You got to do some traveling.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to miss you next. I'm looking how far out into August. You're back on August 6th, so you won't be with us next month. You'll be spreading that love dust.
No, I'll be over in Europe.
Some other place is going to get you, but nonetheless, wave when you fly over top of us on the way back home.
Well, I'll wave to everyone.
And we'll look forward to having you back August 6th.
Definitely check out SusanSmithJones.com, the first 2 or 3 blogs, and check out the current newsletter that's right on the homepage, May-June newsletter.
And then Intelibed phone number again, because I think you stumbled on something that really our listeners...
Well, the Intelibed telephone number is 888-435-2339. Now, if you want to get that green complete powder, remember,
that number.
Vitalize, you get 25% off. And you can get a free recipe book in color. Their number's 800-453-1187, and that's Hawaiian time, 6 hours earlier than you. The Intelibed is mountain time.
All right, we got bongos in the background. It's saying it's our time out of here. Always love spending Wednesdays with you. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed Susan today. Don't forget on Friday, Neo 40. You Viagra aficionado, Neo 40. I don't want to miss that show. See you then. Till then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health. Okay, Susan.
Thank you.
Oh.
I will miss you next month.
Oh, I'm going to miss you too.
We'll wave.
Okay, careful over there. That's a wild and raucous place over there in You say you're going to Copenhagen?
I'm going to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Oh, even more.
Wait, is that a country?
No, Amsterdam is the name of a city.
I'm embarrassed, but I know I don't have to be embarrassed with you. Is that a country or a city?
It's a city. Amsterdam's a city, and it is it's a no-holds-barred city.
I know.
Are you looking forward to it?
The red light district.
Oh, you looking forward?
What country is it in? In Brussels? Amsterdam. Good. I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
I'm maybe one of those little ones. A lot of tulips growing around there, whatever the hell it is.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk to you in August.
Talk to you in August. Have a great month. Okay. Bye now.
Bye.